Shit happens to all of us. It's ubiquitous. No matter how much we like to think that we can create this utopian life for ourselves, there is always going to be adversity. There is always going to be challenges. And I suppose some of the concepts that I work on with clients and that have certainly been so beneficial to me over the years, even when I wasn't aware of the fact that I was practicing them, are those of radical acceptance, of spirituality, and in trusting the timing of your life. Now, that's not always easy to do, because when bad things happen, it's very easy to slip into this mindset of questioning why and wondering what you did wrong or if you could have done things differently, and getting very pulled into the woe is me mindset. Likewise, when things aren't going the way that you would have liked them to, sometimes you can feel like as if you may as well just throw in the towel because things aren't automatically falling into place. And I suppose having a faith in a belief that things will get better, having a hope and optimism about life is so important to getting you through the rougher times. Now, there's a difference between having an optimism for the future and having faith for your future, and being in complete denial about what it is that's happening to you. And I suppose that's why I feel this whole kind of positivity movement isn't always beneficial, because it nearly gives a subliminal message that when we're experiencing adversity, that we need to just smile and things will automatically get better. And that's not necessarily the case. The best thing that we can do when we're in a tough situation is practice what is called radical acceptance. And this is accepting life on life's terms. You know, we like to think we're in control of everything. We like to think we have all of these plates spinning. And the reality is we're in control of very little, bar our own internal experience. And even that we're not in control of all of the time. I mean, our emotional responses are very much out of our control. However, we can be more controlling of our thoughts and of our behaviours. So we really need to take responsibility for those, because ultimately they're the only thing that can help us through the tougher times in life. So it's about accepting your situation for what it is, as opposed to either denying it or wallowing in it. So recognizing what it is that is happening, honoring the emotions that are going with it, but then having a curiosity about what it is that you can do differently to get you out of that situation. So basically what that means is you're taking your mindset from being problem focused, and we tend to, when things are going badly, we tend to over exaggerate them, we tend to catastrophize, we tend to predict the future and assume that things are going to continue on in the same way. And the reality is we have no knowledge about what's going to happen, and exaggerating what's happening to us isn't anyways beneficial. However, we don't want to deny our experience either. We need to be able to sit with it. We need to be able to experience whatever it is that we're going through, recognize the emotional content and process it fully. So, if you're feeling shit, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling jealous, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling ashamed because you've made some sort of mistake, that's okay. It's just recognizing and honoring that feeling, as opposed to pushing it down into the body and making things far worse than they need to be. And this is a practice. This isn't something that comes automatically to us, because again, as I said, we're kind of given this message that we need to be positive. We need to put a positive light on absolutely everything, and we need to be peppy all day. And that if we just think our circumstances differently, that they're going to change for us. And that's not necessarily the truth. You have to, yes, think about what you need to do differently, but you also need to put alternative action into place to get you out of that situation. And whether it be that you change your circumstance or you change your I suppose attitude about what it is that's happening, you become more accepting of it. Either or, you need to do something, otherwise you are going to stay exactly in the place that is causing you so much pain, distress and discomfort. So it's about finding acceptance, then planning as to what you can do differently. And I suppose this is where the faith aspect comes in. So, it's very hard if you're convinced that your life is shit, that you're shit, that the future is shit, and basically that everything is hopeless and bleak and worthless, which is how I suppose depression impacts on somebody. It basically saps all of their hope from them. So if you can, I suppose, take yourself out of that and even hand over all of your troubles to a higher power, and this has been such a beneficial tool to me. I've basically said, okay, whatever it is that is happening right now, first of all, it has a lesson for me. If I can just breathe into it, if I can just open my eyes and feel what it is that I'm feeling and recognize why it's hurting me so much, and then maybe find a way of sitting with it a little bit easier. So digesting that pain, sitting with that pain, and then trying to release it through breathing or meditation or writing or whatever it is, and through prayer. Because again, when you hand over your troubles to a higher power, it takes some of the weight from your shoulders. And I don't pray to anybody in particular. I mean, literally one day it could be God, next day it could be Source, next day it could be Buddha. Whatever works, but just being able to ask for help, even if you can't reach out to somebody in your life and ask for help, but to be able to ask some sort of external entity, even if it is a spiritual entity, is so beneficial, because it just takes some of the load off your shoulders. It also puts you into a practice of being able to ask another entity for help, which brings you closer to asking another human for help. And it's those connections, it's that vulnerability when we're able to reach out and say to somebody, I am so stuck, I am struggling here, can you help me out? That is such a source of comfort, of growth, and of solutions for us. So, the more we practice this, the better we're going to get at it. And again, it's about trusting the timing of your life. I mean, oftentimes when you're in the midst of a really shitty time, it's hard to even entertain the possibility that this could be, a step to greater things, that there's a reason that you're in this rumble or struggle or whatever it is that you like to call it. However, no matter what has happened in my life, I've always come out the other side, and something always has come of it that I didn't see coming, So it's about being with your struggle, accepting it for what it is, having a belief that it's for the greater good, and also being proactive and accountable for what you can do differently, what you can do to repair, or what it is that you need to accept. So if you are struggling with the timing of your life, or if you want a little bit of guidance when it comes to creating an awareness of where things could be different or how things could be done differently, get in touch with me on my website. It is fundamentals.ie.